Act 1 of Love's Contrivance by Susanna Centlivre. This is a Librivox recording. All Librivox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit Librivox.org. Prologue. Poets, like mushrooms, rise and fall of late, or as the uncertain favorites of the state, inventions wrecked to please both eye and ear. But no scene takes without the moving player. Daily we see plays, pamphlets, libels, rhymes, become the falling sickness of the times. So feverish is the humour of the town. It surfeits a play, ere 3 days run. At Lockett's, Brown's, and at Pontiac's inquire what modish kickshaws the nice beaux desire. What famed drag-outs, what new invented salade has best pretensions to regale the palate. If we present you with a medley here, a hodgepodge dish, served up in chinaware, we hope 'twill please, 'cause like your bills of fare, to please you all we should attempt in vain. In different persons, different humours reign, the soldiers for the rattling scenes of war, the peaceful beau, hate shedding blood so near, courtiers in comedy place their chief delight, 'cause love's the proper business of the night. The clown for pastoral his half-crown bestows, but t'other house, my sad experience knows, this polished town produces few of those. The merchant is for the traffic everywhere, and values not the best, but cheapest ware, since various humours are pleased various ways. A critic's but a fool to judge of plays. Fool did I say? 'Tis difficult to know who 'tis that's so indeed, or is not so. If that be then a point so hard to gain, wit's sure a most profound unfathomed main. He that sits judge, the trident ought to sway, to know who's greatest fool or wit today, the audience or the author of the play. Dramatis persona.
Selfwill, father to Lucinda. Read by Alan Mapstone.
Sir Toby Doubtful, an old city knight in love with Lucinda. Read by Todd.
Bellmie, a gentleman in love with Lucinda. Read by Adrian Stephens.
Octavio, his friend, newly arrived from travelling. Read by João Senna.
Martin, formerly a servant to Bellmie, but being poor is turned faggot-maker. Read by Beeswaxcandle.
Lucinda, daughter to Selfwill, in love with Bellmie. Read by Jenn
BrodaBelliza, her cousin. Read by DC.
Martin's wife. Read by Sonia.
Draw. Read by David Purdy.
First Servant. Read by Shireen Hickey.
Second Servant. Read by David Purdy.
Mr. Tickletext. Read by Larry Wilson.
Stage Directions. Read by Agnes Robert BehrEditing. Scene, London. Act 1, Scene 1. Enter Selfwill and Lucinda.
Why? What objection can you make, I say?
Objection, sir.
Aye, what objection?
What objection may one not make, sir? He's old.
He'll die the sooner, and leave you a rich widow. Then you may marry whom you please.
I can't love him.
Oh, that's not essential to a wife. You can bear the sight of him, I suppose.
So I can of a death's head, but I should not care to have it in bed with me. In short, sir, if you won't consider my body, have some pity for my soul, for I am certain I shall.
Cuckold him, huh? Let him look to that. Whoever marries is a merchant adventurer, and hope is his best friend. 'Tis all but chance, and I suppose Sir Toby hasn't trafficked these 30 years, but he has met with some leaky vessels in his lifetime. Therefore, daughter of mine, this is no excuse.
Lucinda, aside.
Oh, heaven, what shall I do? No excuse, sir. I hope you won't be so barbarous as to force my inclinations. I have ever been a dutiful child to you. Never thought of marriage till you persuaded me. You bade me encourage Bellmie's suit as a man you designed for my husband. In obedience to you, I strove to love him, and by degrees he gained my heart, which now is unalterably his. I never can love but him.
You can't. With all my heart, love him on. I don't bid you hate him, nor love Sir Toby. You say duty to me gave the first impression of your love to Bellmie, then let your duty give the second, at my command, to Sir Toby. For, just see, I am resolved you shall ne'er see Bellmie till you are his wife, and so consider on't. D'ye hear? Tomorrow's the day.
Exit.
What shall I do?
Enter Bellmie.
What? In tears, Lucinda, what's the matter? Is my uncle obstinate?
As obstinately bent to my undoing as the Romish Church to heresy, and much I fear 'tis not in my power to stem the tide of his resolutions, for he has no consideration but riches.
Well, were it my case, I know what I would do.
There is no room left to do anything. We are pent up to so narrow a point of time that I can turn no way for help.
And so you lie down and take what comes? A very pretty resolution in extremity, truly.
What would you have me do? My father's immovable. All my tears and entreaties are thrown away upon him. He's fixed in his design. Besides, I have not heard a word from Bellmie these 2 days, nor know I the reason on it.
These 2 days? There's a lover indeed. He deserves to lose his mistress. Does he consider what inconstant things we women are? Had he been my servant, or my conscience, I should have forgot him the first day, and got a new one the second.
Indeed, I should be angry with him myself, did I not think him guilty of indifference. But I'm persuaded 'tis not his fault. Which way to give him notice of my father's proceedings, I know not, for I have been so strictly watched these 2 days that I cannot so much as come at pen, ink, or paper.
Well, girl, to show you that I am a well-wisher to your designs, I'll undertake the embassy myself, if you'll give me your instructions.
You show yourself a friend in everything. Come into the next room, and I'll give you 'em immediately.
Exeunt. Scene the street. Enter Sir Toby Doubtful and servants.
Do you hear? If anybody brings me any money, send for me to Mr. Selfwill's house immediately. But if any wants money, tell him I am not at home, nor shan't be all day.
Exit servants. Enter Octavio.
A very prudent order, faith. Sir Toby, your servant.
Mr. Octavio, I am heartily glad to see you. Pray, how long have you been in England?
These 6 months, but not one in town. The last bills you transmitted me to Cales brought me over. I was several times upon change, but could not have the good fortune to meet with you. Come, shall we take a bottle together?
Another time, sir. I shall be glad to crack a bottle with you. But at present I have a little pressing business, and yet I could wish to stay now, for I have a little pressing business upon my hands, wherein I should be glad of a friend's advice. Now, I know you are a man of sense, and your father was my particular friend, and I have a very great respect for you as his son, and would rather take your advice than any man's I know again. Therefore, we'll step into this house, and I'll tell you what 'tis.
Oh, Sir Toby, you do me too much honor. I'll promise to give you the best advice I'm capable of. Allons, so hold the house here.
Enter drawer.
You are welcome, gentlemen. Will you be pleased to walk into a room?
Exeunt and enter again, in a room with a table and wine.
Well, Mr. Octavio, before I tell you what it is, I conjure you not to flatter me, but deal freely, and give your just thoughts of the matter.
You may be certain I will.
I think there can be nothing worse in a friend than not to speak his mind freely.
You are in the right.
In this age, one finds but few friends sincere.
That's true.
Promise me, then.
I promise you.
Swear by your faith you will.
Upon the faith of a friend I will. Therefore, pray, tell me your business.
Aside.
What the devil can all this mean?
Why, then, 'tis this. Shall I do well to marry?
Octavio, aside.
By the injunction, I thought it was either hanging or marrying. Who? You, Sir Toby?
Yes, myself in proper person. What is your advice upon that?
Now, pray, before I give you my opinion, tell me one thing.
What's that?
What age are you?
What age?
I.
Faith, I don't know, but I'm very well.
Can you guess near what age?
No, I never think of that.
Harkye, sir. How old were you when my father was first acquainted with you?
Ah, how old? Why, about 20.
Very good. And how long were you together at Rome?
8 years.
How long did you live in France?
7 years.
You were some time in Holland, too?
5.5.
And when did you come over again?
I came over in 80.
So, from 80 to 701 is 21 years, I think. And 5 years in Holland, and 7 years in France, that is 33, and 8 years at Rome, that is 41, and 20 years you own at your first acquaintance with my father, which is just 61 by your own concession, and it may be a year or two older.
Who, I, Mr. Octavio? No, it can't be. You've reckoned wrong.
Nay, I have calculated just, I'll assure you. Whereupon I shall speak freely like a friend, and as you made me swear to do. Marriage won't do your work. That's a thing we young men ought to think seriously on before we do it. But men of your age should never think on't at all. If one would give the greatest ill a name, 'tis marriage. I know nothing worse, especially to an old man. Therefore, if you'll take my advice, don't think on't. I should think that man ridiculous, that would keep open house for all strollers, and yet is incapable of sharing the diversion himself. No, my friend. Grey hairs in the bridal bed are ridiculous companions.
Look ye, sir, I asked your advice as a friend, and not to be affronted.
And I gave it you as a friend, sir. I'm sure I designed no affront, Sir Toby.
Sir, I say my hair is not grey with age, for I was grey as I am now at 20, and so was my father before me.
Nay, Sir Toby, that may be. I protest. I did not think any harm when I spoke. You bid me speak my mind freely, you know.
I did so, but did not think you had been of this opinion. For I can assure you I shall marry, and the very woman I design, and I warrant she'll like me ne'er the worse for my grey hairs, as you call 'em.
Perhaps the lady may suit your ears, Sir Toby. If so, You'll do well to marry.
My years? What do you mean, Mr. Octavio? I think any lady suits my years. The lady I design to marry is about 20, and I love her.
You love her?
And I have her father's consent.
You have her father's consent?
Yes, and the match is concluded on, and is to be tomorrow.
Nay, then marry a God's name. I shan't speak one word more.
Why, would you have me fancy myself old, sir, so long as I have the vigor of a man of 30? Don't I walk upright?
Walks.
Nay, can dance a minuet with e'er a young fellow of you all. La 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 la.
Skips and dances.
My legs don't fail me, thank God. I have no need of a coach or a chair to carry me to my mistress. And look you here, I have as good a set of teeth as e'er a beau in Christendom.
Shews his teeth.
I have a very good appetite, too. I can digest 4 meals a day, and am as sound as a roach, boy.
Coughs.
What? Ah, what say you to these symptoms, friend? Mayn't I venture to marry, think ye?
By all means. I was mistaken.
Sometimes I am of another mind, but when I think what a pleasure it will be to possess a young, beautiful creature that will caress and stroke and fondle me when I am weary and out of humour.
Octavio, aside.
That will cuckold you when she is in humour.
Besides, when I die, the name of the Doubtfuls is extinct in the male line. Therefore I'm resolved to begat a boy, and that shall begat another boy, and so bear up my name to posterity. Ah, what pleasure it will be to see the little creatures playing about one's knees, and to hear one tell me the boy has my nose, another my eyes, a third my mouth and smile. Ha ha ha!
Octavio, aside.
While the mother smiles, to think you had the least hand in the getting it.
And then, when I come from change, to have 'em run and meet me, and call Papa. 'Tis surely the most agreeable pleasure in the world, and I hope to get 6 of 'em ere I die yet, boy.
Octavio, aside.
Father 6, you mean, old gentleman.
What sayest thou then, huh, boy?
Oh, sir, I would counsel you to marry with all the haste you can.
Good, you counsel me.
You can't do better.
I'm overjoyed to think that your opinion jumps with mine. I ever took you to be a man of sense. And you give this counsel out of pure friendship?
I do upon my word. For when a man refuses to follow my counsel, I think the best thing I can do is to advise him to follow his own. But pray, Sir Toby, who is this lady?
Lucinda.
What? The great beauty?
Yes, sir.
Daughter to Mr. Selfwill?
The same.
Octavio, aside.
What do I hear?
What do you say?
A very noble match.
Had I not reason in my choice?
Oh, without a doubt.
Aside.
But I'm mistaken if you have her, old gentleman.
Well, I invite you to the throwing of the stocking, Mr. Octavio. Huh! You'll wish yourself in my place, boy.
Octavio, aside.
I have a friend will put you out of your place, perchance, if I come time enough to give him notice on't. I'll not fail, sir, your humble servant.
Sir, your very humble servant.
Exit Sir Toby.
He to marry Lucinda tomorrow? And by her father's consent? Ah, poor Bellmie! But I must instantly go seek him, and let him know his affairs are in ill posture at present.
Exit. The scene changes to the street. Enter Martin and his wife.
I say I won't work today, and if I say I won't, I won't, and so you had as good hold your tongue.
'Tis very fine indeed. A woman must not speak.
I say 'tis my business to speak, and act too. Pray, who am I? Am I not your lord and master?
And who am I, if you go to that? Am not I the wife of your bosom? What did I marry you for? To bear with all your mad freaks? Ah, no, no. I'd have you to know I shall make you turn over a new leaf.
Oh, the plague of a new wife, as Aristotle has well observed when he says, a bad woman is worse than the devil.
Pray observe this learned man, with his musty airs, that man of parts.
Yes, hussy, I'm a man of parts. Show me here a blank in town knows what I do. Though I am forced to follow such a mechanic employment, I was brought up better. I lived 6 years with Mr. Bellmie, the most ingenious gentleman about town, in the quality of a valet de chambre. I read all his books, and though I say it, had a very good smattering of philosophy, which science my master was an admirer of. And I say again, Aristotle condemned you.
The man's mad.
A woman's mad, I think, or she'd never cross such a husband.
Cursed be the hour I made you so, and double cursed the minute I said yes.
Cursed be the black that made me sign my ruin.
Your ruin? You have ruined me indeed, and almost brought me upon the parish. You have eat up all I brought, though 'twas more than you could have expected with a wife.
Cries.
That's a lie, for I have drank the greatest part of it.
You have even stripped me of the bed I lay upon.
You rise the earlier.
Nay, you han't left so much as one movable in the whole house.
That's another lie, for I've left your tongue. And as for goods, the fewer we have, the easier we shall remove.
And from morning to night do nothing but drink and play.
That's because I would not wear myself out too soon with labour. For labour overcomes everything, you know.
And what do you think I shall do in the meantime with the family?
Eat what you please.
And you, sot, must things always go thus?
Softly, good wife, softly, if you please. Good words, I beseech you.
Must I eternally be plagued with your debauchery and laziness?
You know, wife, I am sometimes choleric and given to passion, and have a pair of very good fists.
I scorn your threats.
My good wife, your hide itches for a dressing.
I'd have you to know I don't fear that.
Striping her fingers.
Thou dear half of me, thou hast a mind to have something at my hands.
Do you think to fright me with your words?
Sweet object of my eyes, I shall warm your cheeks.
You sot, who are you?
I shall beat you.
Drunkard.
Don't provoke me.
Infamous fellow.
I shall curry your jacket.
You curry my jacket? Traitor, cheat, coward, rascal, thief, knave, varlet, informer.
Nay, then.
Beats her.
Ah! Murder! Murder! Ah!
Enter Octavio with his sword, and slaps Martin over the shoulders.
How now? What insolence is this? Are you not ashamed to beat a woman, huh?
Maybe I have a mind to be beaten. What's that to you?
Coming up to him.
Nay, if you have a mind to it, with all my heart.
Putting up his sword.
Pray, why do you trouble yourself?
Good woman, be patient. I have done.
Is it your business?
No, truly.
Go. You are an impertinent fellow.
Octavio, aside.
I shall not speak one word more, but heartily wish he had drubbed her 10 times as much.
Suppose I am pleased he should beat me. I say, what's that to you?
Octavio nods only.
You are a fool to trouble yourself with other folks' business.
Octavio nods again, then turns to Martin.
Friends, I am sorry I disturbed your diversion, but hope you know how to begin again.
Maybe I do, maybe I do not. What's that to you whether I do or no?
That's true, as you say. Neither do I care.
If I have a mind to beat her, I will beat her, and if I have not a mind, I won't.
With all my heart.
She's my wife, not yours.
Thank heaven.
You have nothing to do with me, nor do I want your help.
Nor shall I trouble myself to give it to you, huh?
Enter Bellmie.
Bellmie, luckily met. I was just going to your lodgings, but hearing the cry of murder here, I put a stop to my haste.
Nobody desired you to stay, sir. You might have marched as soon as you came, for that matter.
Prithee, what's the matter with the fellow?
Why, when I came, I found them fighting. The woman cried out murder, but I no sooner took her part, but they both fell upon me pell-mell, and have rung such a peal in my ears, I shan't have the right use of them this month.
Sure, I should know that face. Do you hear, friend? Is your name not Martin?
Master Bellmie.
Where have you led your life, sirrah?
Why, truly, master, I can't tell.
But I know who can. Even from one alehouse to another, sir.
Martin, aside to her.
Your tongue won't lie still.
I told you what your drunkenness would bring you to, but you never believed me. Here, there's a guinea for you. Be friends with your wife, do you hear?
Ah, sir. We never bear malice, as you shall see, sir. Wife, come and kiss me, wife.
I kiss you. I'll see you hanged first. Do you think I'll be used at this rate?
Look'ee, wife, I love you the better for beating you, faith. 'Tis all out of pure love, 'tis indeed, wife. And such little quarrels as these do but cement the passion of love. Faith, wife, if I did not beat thee, I shall cuckold thee.
His wife, aside.
Say you so? Nay, if I thought that.
Runs to him and kisses him.
You should beat me as oft as you please.
Faith and troth, 'tis true.
Why, now 'tis as it should be. Do you hear? Sirrah, come to my lodgings at the Golden Ball at the end of the street. Perhaps I may have occasion to use you. You used to be a lucky rogue upon a pinch.
Nay, master, and I've not forgot it yet.
Bellmie to Octavio.
I am now at leisure to hear your story, but I think my lodging the most proper place.
Exeunt.
Harkee, husband. Where are you going?
To the alehouse to drink my master's health.
And spend all the money, huh?
Why, what if I do? Ha! He was given to me.
Given to you? I'm sure my bones have paid for it.
But it was my friend gave the money, though.
But if I had not cried out, your friend might not have come this way, though.
That's right. Well, wife, I won't stand with you for little matters. You shall beat me now, and I'll cry out if you think that will get you a guinea. If not, if you'll come to the alehouse, I'll make you drunk. And so, goodbye.
And am I always to be used thus? Well, if I am not revenged, I am no woman.
Exit. End of Act 1. Act 2 of Love's Contrivance by Susanna Centlivre. This is a Librivox recording. All Librivox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit Librivox.org. Act 2, Scene 1. Scene: Bellmie's lodgings. Enter Bellmie and Octavio.
To be married tomorrow, say you? Impossible.
So he told me. And there is nothing impossible that has any relation to falsehood, especially where a woman is concerned.
Falsehood! By heaven, I'm certain she never gave consent. 'Tis her father's doings all, for as I told you, he forbade me his house 2 days ago, upon the grounds I know not, but I suspect it is treachery.
After countenancing your pretensions, what excuse could he have for altering his mind?
Why, a very lame one. He said he had considered better, and did not think me a proper match for his daughter, telling me he should be very glad to see me anywhere but at his own house, and so left me. I have ever since been so perplexed to know the cause. I scarce have suffered sleep to close my eyes. I have endeavoured all means possible to see Lucinda, but in vain.
Write to her.
Ha! A lucky thought comes into my head. I'll to Martin. He used to be the wittiest rogue at these contrivances living. I'll be with you again presently.
Exit.
This is to be an honourable lover now. Leave a friend for a mistress. Well, but let me see. What shall I do here alone? Oh, what books are these?
Turns over 2 or 3 books. Enter Belliza, and slaps him on the back with a fan.
What? Studying, Bellmie? Oh, Lord, I beg your pardon, sir. I am mistaken, I find.
All in the name, madam, for I am a man, and at your service.
Aside.
A charming woman, this. Who the devil is she?
This is Mr. Bellmie's lodging, is it not, sir?
It is, madam.
Is he within, pray?
I expect him every minute, madam. But can nobody do your business but Mr. Bellmie, child?
Not at present, sir.
Aside.
A genteel, handsome fellow, this. Who is he, I wonder? I don't remember ever to have seen him before.
My friend's a happy man to have pretty ladies visit him alone.
You seldom think happiness depends upon our sex.
Octavio. Aside.
He that does, I am sure, is a fool. No, madam. Why, you are the only blessing of our lives. Are not all our troubles, cares, and toils softened by the endearing embraces of a woman? Have they not power to smooth the roughest of our tempers, and make us calmly sink into their bosoms? In short, madam, women rule as they please.
But like true Englishmen, you are never pleased long with one government.
Not if they affect arbitrary sway. Liberty of conscience, you know, madam.
Aye, and men's consciences are very large.
And women have no conscience at all.
You are very free, methinks.
You are very handsome, Faith.
I'll not believe you think so.
Egad, madam, stay but till my friend comes, and he will vouch for me.
Is Bellmie your friend, sir?
I think so, madam. I'm sure we have fought for each other, been drunk, whored and slept together, which are the common symptoms of friendship. Thus far your query is answered.
Very virtuous symptoms, truly, and concisely expressed. Well, sir, and I may presume you partake of his secrets too, for that is one part of friendship, as I take it.
Octavio. Aside.
So, now has she a mind to discover something? Poor rogue, he has used her unkindly, I warrant. Yes, faith, madam, I think we are pretty free in those matters. I don't believe he has any secrets, but what I know.
Aside.
Except his intrigue with you, which I could found in my heart to cuckold him for concealing it from me.
Pray, sir, tell me, I hear he is mightily in love with one Lucinda. Will he marry her, think you?
Octavio. Aside.
Ah, she's jealous. I must not discover the truth, lest the consequence be prejudicial to my friend. I know there was some such talk once, madam, but to my certain knowledge it was never designed by him.
How? Never designed by him? You mistake, sure.
Not at all. I won't say he did not like her, because I believe he would have done her the favor, but she would not consent upon any terms. But that ever he had any design of marrying her, I absolutely deny.
Aside.
I hope she'll believe me.
Impossible.
Aside.
Yet it may be true, for the earth produces not more variety of colours than the breast of man tricks to deceive. I'm glad I know this, that Lucinda may not deceive herself with vain hopes. And are you certain of this, sir?
As certain as that I live, child. And as a proof of what I say, she's to be married tomorrow to Sir Toby Doubtful, and Bellmie designs to meet them at the church door with music to congratulate her marriage.
A generous rival, truly.
Ah, madam, he's the most generous man in the world. His mistress and his pockets are still at his friend's service.
Let his friends share his mistress. I'm afraid if his friends applaud his generosity, they condemn his sense.
Quite the contrary, madam. They admire his morals. He's a well-wisher to his country, and knows that the engrossing any commodity ruins trade.
And is this his private opinion, say you?
Directly.
Aside.
Aye, this is some woman he keeps. And poor soul, she's afraid when he has bought a seat of his own, he'll not continue the lease of her frail tenement. But pretty child, why are you so inquisitive?
I had some reasons, sir, but my scruples are much clearer by the discovery you have made, for I depend upon what you say for truth.
That you may in everything, madam, as certainly as that I envy my friend the share he holds in your esteem. He's my friend, 'tis true, and as such I ought to have concealed his failing. But beauty, bewitching beauty, has power at any time to unlock the closet of my breast. Your charms are irresistibly engaging.
Sighs.
Hi-ho! Faith, madam, I'm in love.
Looking languishingly.
For how long, pray, sir?
Faith, madam, that I can tell, but if it holds on as it begins, I believe to my life's end.
And how many friends have you to share, pray?
Faith, madam, none at all. I fancy I should play the monopolist, were you once at my disposal.
But that would be a ruin to trade, you know. You would be reckoned an enemy to your country.
Odd so, that's true as you say. But no matter. I am no member of Parliament. I have nobody's affairs but my own upon my hands.
So consequently, fear no petitions.
No, faith, madam. I fear nothing but your eyes.
I can assure you there is no malignity in them. You'll be never the worse for looking at him.
I positively deny that, for I find I am strangely disordered, and nothing but the knowing of your name and lodgings, and leave to wait on you, can prolong my life a moment.
Oh, Lord, if you are so near death, I'll be gone, lest I am indicted for your murder. You'll do well to pray, sir. Shall I send a parson to you?
No, you dear charming devil, you.
Catching her.
I can offer up my devotions at no altar but yours. You must not leave me. By heaven, you shall not, till I know your name.
Well, that you mayn't be forsworn, my name is Belliza.
Your lodging, too?
I must know you better first.
Why, 'tis in order to be better acquainted I ask it, child. Come, dear madam, don't torture me with expectation. I won't tell Bellmie, faith.
Then you'll not know, sir. And so, adieu.
Exit.
So, she's gone. Did ever anybody know so cross a jade? Now has she an itching to pursue the custom of her sex, to be talked of and inquired after. A pox. I have a good mind not to ask Bellmie about her. And yet I don't know what's the matter with me. I have a devilish mind to a night's lodging with her. But then she's my friend's mistress. Why, what then? She's not his wife. Egad, I am resolved to found his inclination. He can't be in love in two places at once. I'm certain he's really so with Lucinda. Aye, but that's honourable love. He may keep a mistress for all that, but perhaps he may be weary of her and glad to consign her over to me. Beauty is a falling commodity, yet if the perquisites bend damage, I'll accept them. So, upon mature consideration, I'll ask him who she is. Oh, here he comes.
Enter Bellmie.
I was afraid I'd tired your patience. Did you not think me long?
No, Faith. I have been very well diverted in your absence.
With what, prithee?
Why, with the best diversion in the world, a pretty woman.
A woman?
Yes, Faith, so she seemed. Wish I could give you a more evident proof of it, for she's very handsome.
How came she here?
Upon her legs, I presume.
But upon what business?
The main business, I suppose. Love. Love, friends. She wanted you, Bellmie, and I can assure you I have done you no inconsiderable piece of service, if you knew all.
Prithee, what is't?
Nay, hold there. Like a politic warrior, while the power's in my own hands, I'll make my own conditions. If I tell you one thing, you must grant me another.
You know you may command anything that is in my power. Prithee, what is't?
A very inconsiderable thing to a man in your circumstances. Only a night's lodging with your mistress, that's all.
What mean you, Octavio?
Why, here has been a very pretty lady to see you, and by all appearance she's a mistress of yours, though you was never so honest as to tell your friend your happiness. Faith, Bellmie, 'twas not like a friend to conceal an intrigue of this nature. What? Keep a mistress and let nobody know it? I'm sure I never served you so.
What? Do you mean to banter me? I keep a mistress?
Yes, yes. Don't deny it with that grave face. That philosophical air won't do, man. Her jealousy discovered all. She would fain have pumped me out of something about Lucinda, whether you loved her or not, or did design to marry her. But thanks to this projecting brain of mine, that furnished me with lies quick as my tongue could utter them, she remains in ignorance. I told her you designed no such thing.
How? Odds life, do you know what you have done? This must be somebody from Lucinda. I have no mistress, nor do I know any woman breathing so intimately as to expect a visit from her, except my relations, who are all known to you. Therefore it must be from her.
Aye. Don't think I let that pass upon me. I expect for the service I have done you to know where the lady lives. Yet, faith and troth, Bellmie, if you will really confess you love her, the devil take me if I attempt making you a cuckold. Though I have, by the way, a violent inclination. But friendship has always had the ascendant over my desires yet.
I tell you, Octavio, what I have said is true. Upon my honour it is. And, Father, I here promise to renounce all claim whatsoever to the whole sex, except Lucinda. Will that satisfy you?
I take you at your word. The lady told me her name was Belliza. What say you now, friend, huh? How beats your heart, huh?
As I suspected, 'tis Lucinda's cousin. You've ruined me.
Huh? How? What's that? Lucinda's cousin?
Aye, positively. Oh, unfortunate man that I am, to miss the luckiest minute fate had in store for me.
What then? Is my charming, delicious harlot dwindled into a virtuous woman at last? A pox of all minutes, I say, since there's none lucky to me. Prithee, Bellmie, forgive me. For faith I designed well, but who the devil can divine? For my part, I was never more mistaken in all my life. The devil take me if I could see honest woman writ in their forehead. But harkee, if you'll tell me where the lady lives, I'll go and unsay all I have said.
'Twill be to no purpose. Did she leave no message?
None at all.
Were you not my friend, Octavio, I could not forgive what you have done. For aught I know, I have lost Lucinda. 'Tis owing to your conduct.
Pox on't. I was never more vexed in my life. Pretty. What's to be done? What says Martin?
I know not what's to be done now. He has promised to deliver me a letter if possible. All I can do is patiently to expect the event. Prithee, do you go find out Sir Toby and try what discovery you can make? But be sure you don't let him know that you're acquainted with me. Perhaps he may introduce you as a friend of his, and so you may speak to Lucinda or her cousin, which, if you do, remember what you owe your friend. But be sure you make particular inquiry about the time, for I am resolved he shall not marry her whilst I can hold this.
Points to his sword.
I'll do it. When I parted with him, he told me he was going thither. Egad, I'll impudently go and ask for him.
But what pretence can you have?
Oh, let me alone for that. I never want pretence when I can either serve my friends or see a pretty woman. And egad, this Belliza runs plaguily in my head.
I hope you are caught, Octavio. I shall be glad to see you quit this roving temper and think of living honestly and marry.
That's as much as to say you'd be glad to see me handcuffed and fettered, just ready to be shipped for a Virginia slave. Thank you heartily, Bellmie. You wish your friends very well.
Only as well as I do myself. Come, come. I hope to see you of another mind, and I can assure you nothing would be to me more welcome next the enjoying my Lucinda that your company at church upon the same design.
Why this 'tis now? On my conscience, some men love their friends so well that if they were to be hanged themselves, rather than part from them, they'd have them hanged for company. Ha ha!
You are of a happy temper, always gay.
And whilst I enjoy my dear, dear liberty, I shall always be so. Adieu.
Exeunt severally. End of Act 2. Act 3 of Love's Contrivance by Susanna Centlivre. This is a Librivox recording. All Librivox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit Librivox.org. Act 3, Scene 1. Scene: Selfwill's house. Enter Lucinda and Belliza.
False! Impossible!
He's a man, cousin. Pray consider that.
He's a man, but not like common men. I never found him false, even in the smallest matter, nor will I believe it now. No, his friend belies him, or
I belie the friend. Ah, I wish you find it so.
Aside.
His friend belies him. Methinks now could I quarrel with her for her slight opinion of his friend. And yet, I don't know what's the matter neither. But methinks I have a very great respect for his friend.
What makes you so angry, cousin?
What makes you so incredulous?
Love. Now, if you give the same reason, I have done.
Belliza, aside.
On my conscience, I shall let the world know I like this fellow before I know it myself. No, truly, cousin, I can't be so complacent. But I am concerned, methinks, that you should say his friend belies him. For truly I think I never saw a prettier gentleman in my life, or one that looked more like a man of honour, and I dare say he is so.
But he's a man, cousin. Pray consider that.
And must he needs be false, because he's a man?
Your own argument, cousin.
Belliza, aside.
Deuce on it. I shall discover myself. That's true, too. Well, perhaps he did belie him.
Aside.
Though I dare swear he did not.
Yet maybe he did not. For what should be the reason of his absence these 2 days? If I was certain on it, he should not be beforehand with me, at least in the opinion of the world. I'd marry this old fellow, though I hate him, but that would be to be revenged on myself. He would be pleased at my misfortune, Therefore I am resolved, if he's false, never to marry.
Have a care, cousin. Make no resolutions, for here comes one will endeavour to break them.
Enter Selfwill and Sir Toby Doubtful.
How now? What, in tears, you stubborn baggage, you? Be pleasant, you had best, and entertain Sir Toby as you ought to do, a man that tomorrow is to command you.
Then, if he don't rule till tomorrow, she may rule today, may she not?
Aye, 'tis your sex's privilege before marriage.
Is it so? Why then, if I was in her place, I would command Sir Toby never to see my face again.
How, hussy?
Holds up his cane.
'Tis from your counsel proceeds her disobedience, but I'll part you, I'll warrant you.
Ladies, your humble servant. Madam, I am extremely troubled that you are so indisposed, but I hope 'twill off again.
Aye, Sir Toby, they are only maidens' tears, though their hearts leap for joy, yet they'd think it an unpardonable fault if they did not weep for 4 or 5 days before they were married.
Nay, if that be all, I'm satisfied. I can assure you, Mr. Selfwill, she shall have no occasion to weep after marriage, and that's the best, I take it.
To Lucinda.
Tomorrow, madam, your father has appointed to make me happy. I hope you have no objection to the day.
Lucinda, aside.
Tomorrow? Oh, heavens! What shall I say to prevent this cursed marriage?
No, Sir Toby, she has no disliking to the day. Why don't you speak, you stubborn baggage, you, huh? Speak, and to the purpose too, you had best.
To the purpose, do you say, uncle? Then...
Hold your tongue, you slut, you! Hold your tongue!
4 a penny China oranges? 4 a penny?
You won't speak, then?
What should I say, sir? You may force me to what you please, but my heart will not let my tongue speak aught to please you in this affair. Therefore, I think 'tis better not to speak at all.
Say you so, mistress, but your tongue shall pronounce some few words tomorrow, gentlewoman, that will please me. To love, cherish, and obey. D'ye hear?
4 a penny China oranges? 4 a penny?
4 a penny? That's cheap. Call in that fellow.
Hang on, Sir Toby. They're too cheap to be good.
We'll see him.
Enter Martin with oranges.
Hark ye, friend. Are your oranges good?
As good as any's in England, master. Cut one, sir, if you please. If you don't like it, you shan't pay for it.
Thou speakest like an honest fellow. I'll try a pennyworth of 'em.
He chooses 'em.
This lady shall judge.
Taking out his knife and making as if he cut an orange, then offers it to Lucinda.
Pray, taste this orange, madam.
Don't trouble me with your oranges.
Strikes it down and discovers a letter was concealed in it.
I don't care whether they're good or bad.
No, madam.
Endeavoring to take up the letter, but is prevented by Selfwill.
What's this? A letter in an orange?
Looking upon it.
This is a new way of pimping.
Ah, how's that? A letter in an orange, Mr. Selfwill. Bless me, that must be conjuration.
Lucinda, aside.
A letter? How unfortunate! It must be from Bellmie, and if I'm not mistaken, this fellow served him once.
See what comes of impatience now? Had you had philosophy enough to have borne all your ills patiently, you had perhaps found a cure for them in this orange.
'Tis my best way to steal out ere he's done reading, or perhaps I shall be showed the next way to the horse pond.
Exit Martin.
What? Is the dog gone? If I catch him with his 4-a-penny oranges again, I'll make an Italian singer of him. Lord, Lord, what will the world come to?
Truly, I should never have suspected this fellow for a bawd. Pray, let me see the letter, Mr. Selfwill.
Puts on his spectacles and reads.
'Tis impossible to express what I have suffered since your father forbade me his house, not being able to let you know I'd die if e'er you consent to his unjust proposals. Therefore, if you still love me, as once I flattered myself you did, be ready at your window this night at 12, and I'll bring you a conveyance shall safely help you to the arms of your faithful Bellmie.
There's a piece of treachery for you, Sir Toby.
Treachery indeed. And I'll instantly go tell Mr. Bellmie he's a rascal.
No, you shall first prevent his designs, then let him do his worst. You shall be married presently. Here, Robin, go tell Mr. Tickletext, the parson. I would speak with him immediately.
The parson, sir?
Yes, forsooth, the parson. I'll prevent your running away with Bellmie.
Running away with Bellmie, sir?
Aye, running away with Bellmie. What a pox do ye echo me for, huh? If you are so fond of speaking after one, I hope the sight of the parson won't displease you.
Lucinda, aside.
But I'll never say after him with any in this company, I'll assure you.
Enter a servant.
Sir Toby, here's a gentleman inquires for you. He says his name is Octavio.
Odd so. A very honest gentleman.
Desire him to walk up. If he's your friend, he's welcome.
His father was my particular friend.
Enter Octavio.
Mr. Octavio, I'm your most humble servant.
Sir Toby, your humble servant.
To Selfwill.
Sir, your servant.
Sir, you are welcome.
Pray, Sir Toby, which is the lady is to make you happy?
Belliza, aside.
As I live, Bellmie's friend, hi-ho. Bless me, what ails my heart?
Lucinda, aside.
Octavio here.
This is she, Mr. Octavio, and you come opportunely to give her to me, for the parson is just coming.
Octavio, aside.
Heaven forbid. Say you so, Sir Toby? Madam, your humble servant.
Saluting her. Aside to her.
By heaven, madam, Bellmie will break his heart.
Goes to Belliza and salutes her. Aside to her.
Faith, madam, I lied in every syllable I said to you at Bellmie's chamber, except when I told you I loved you.
Belliza, aside.
I wish that be not the greatest.
Lucinda, aside.
Poor Bellmie, which way shall I prevent both our misfortunes? I have it. Oh! Oh!
She counterfeits a fit.
Oh, heavens! Look to the lady.
Good lack-a-day! What's the matter? Is she subject to these fits, Mr. Selfwill?
Truly, I never knew her have but one, and that was at the sight of a cat. Poor girl.
Belliza, aside.
A lucky hint. I'll take it. And that is the reason now, for I saw a cat at that door this minute.
Aside.
'Tis rather to avoid the old cat's scratching her. By the by, though.
She's a-coming to herself. Lucinda, speak to me. Child, how dost thou do?
Oh, oh, oh.
How do you do, madam?
Lucinda shakes her head, but answers nobody.
How does my chicken? Ha!
Lucinda shakes her head again.
Speak to us, cousin. How do you do? Oh, dear uncle, I fear she can't speak.
Not speak? I'd rather she should lose all the rest of her senses. Speak to me, child.
Lucinda shakes her head and points to her mouth.
Oh, Lord! Dumb! Why, she can't say after the parson. What an inundation of mischiefs here!
Enter Mr. Tickletext.
What's the matter, Mr. Selfwill? Is not your daughter well?
Not very well, Mr. Tickletext. She has an antipathy against a cat, and it seems one looked into the room just now and made her faint away.
Why, truly one may observe a great deal from sympathy and antipathy. But pray, what did you send for me for, Mr. Selfwill?
Only to say grace that the lady and Sir Toby might fall to. But you have stayed so long, Mr. Parson, that the lady's stomach is gone.
You are very satirical upon your friends, Mr. Octavio. But I hope her stomach will come again, as you call it, though.
Or I'll make her eat against her stomach, I can tell her that.
Aye, but, uncle, that seldom digests well. And what don't digest will throw the body into a fever.
Does it so, Mrs. Quack?
Aside to Belliza.
Here, I suspect a trick.
If the lady be not well, you had best defer it till tomorrow, Sir Toby.
No, sir. There's a necessity of having it done tonight.
What? Though my cousin can't speak, uncle?
Hold your tongue, you jade, you. If she can't speak, she shall make signs.
What? Can't the lady speak? Nay, then I'll have no hand in the business. I do not think I can justify it, when I don't know if the parties are willing.
The parties are willing. Sir Toby, are you not willing to marry my daughter?
'Tis what I design.
And is she not my child? Have I not a right to dispose of her as I please? I say she shall have him, and if she can't speak, I'll answer for her myself.
Truly, Mr. Selfwill, I must beg your pardon. I'll not do it.
Then, sir,
Taking off his hat.
you may let it alone. I'll have those that will. And, sir, if you won't do my business, I have no business with you. There lies the door. The obstinacy of women in priests would confound the patience of any man.
With all my heart, gentlemen, your servant.
Exit.
Lord, uncle, why should you affront the gentleman? Because he has more conscience than you?
Hussy, hold your tongue.
Holds up his cane.
Was ever a man thus plagued?
Truly, Mr. Selfwill, I think 'tis better to defer it till tomorrow, as Mr. Tickletext says.
But do you think what may be the consequences of it, Sir Toby?
That's true, but no matter. I'll sit up with her, and then let him come if he dares.
They stand about Lucinda.
How do you do, my dear?
Octavio, aside to Belliza.
Madam, shall I never see you at Bellmie's lodging again?
I believe not, sir.
Why, then I know what I know.
Pray, what's that, sir?
You'll see me very often at yours, that's all. For I find by the beating of my pulse, the motion of my brain, and the heavings of my heart, I'm very far gone in that dangerous distemper called love. And you are the only physician can save my life.
You had better not trust my skill, for I am but a quack, as my uncle says. But I suppose your condition is not desperate.
I shan't die this minute, madam. I hope heaven will let me serve my friend. Here I make my exit, and then the parson shall truss me up as soon as you please. I must straight to Bellmie, and let him know how affairs stand. I hope Lucinda does but counterfeit this silence.
I hope so too. I believe 'tis in Bellmie's power to make her speak again. Hush, we are observed.
Ah, Mr. Octavio, you know a pretty woman, I find.
Aye, I thank heaven I have all my senses, Sir Toby, and he that has must own this lady claims that title. But how does your mistress, Sir Toby?
Faith, dumb still. I would give £500 that she could speak.
And I 500 more.
You had best put it in the current. By that means you'll have the assistance of the most able man in the kingdom.
I'll do it this minute. Here, carry her to her chamber. Sir, I'm your humble servant.
Sir, your humble servant. Sir Toby, I am yours. I hope the lady will recover.
Exeunt severally. The scene changes to the street. Enter Martin's wife.
Which way shall I be revenged on my husband? A woman always has it in her power to be revenged one way, but I would pay him in his own coin.
Enter one of Selfwill's footmen, going to the printer's.
Pray, good woman, whereabouts lives the printer that prints the Courant?
At the post-house at Temple Bar. Pray, sir, what news are you going to put into the Courant? Any robberies or murders committed?
No, good woman. I am going to put a reward of £500 for any man that can restore my young mistress to her speech again.
Wife, aside.
A good hint. Pray, sir, who do you belong to?
Mr. Selfwill.
Good lack-a-day! Is his daughter taken dumb, do you say?
'Tis too true indeed.
I know a man can cure him if he will, but you'll have much ado to persuade him to it. He has prodigious skill, and to my knowledge has done wonderful cures, even to the raising the dead. But there is but one way to make him own his knowledge, for to look at him you would not think he knew a pig from a dog, as we may say.
Say you so? What is he, pray?
Nay, but a poor man neither. He's a faggot-maker, but a seventh son, and as I tell you, he can do it if he will.
Why, sure, £500 will tempt him then.
No, nothing will tempt him, for he never takes any money for what he does. But I can tell you how you shall make him own himself a doctor.
How is it, pray?
Aside.
Egad, I shall be a rich man, for I'll keep the money to myself.
Why, you must beat him soundly, or he'll not own anything of the matter. Try first with good words, but I know that will be to no purpose. But you may try, however. You'll find him in the wood-yard binding of faggots. I'd advise you to make what haste you can, for I can assure you he is a man of wondrous skill. But be sure don't spare his bones till he confesses it.
I'll warrant you. I'll make him confess it, with the devil to him, if beating will do it.
Exit.
So now I shall have sufficient revenge. The old law says give eye for eye and tooth for tooth restore. Then beat him well for beating me, and I desire no more.
Exit. End of Act 3. Act 4 of Love's Contrivance by Susanna Centlivre. This is a Librivox recording. All Librivox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit Librivox.org. Act 4, Scene 1. Scene: a woodyard. Martin singing, binding of faggots, with his bag and bottle by him. Enter two servants.
This must be he.
He looks more like a gold finder than a doctor. Come, let's speak to him.
Speed your work, honest man.
Thank you, friend.
Sings on. Martin, feeling them come near him, removes his bag and bottle on the other side.
We are come upon earnest business to you, sir.
They go on the other side. He moves his bag and bottle again. Martin, aside.
I don't like your business. You look as if you were sharp set. From who, pray?
One goes on one side, and t'other on the other. He moves his bag and bottle between his legs.
From Mr. Selfwill.
About faggots, I suppose. I promise you there is not a better in England than what I saw.
No, sir. He has heard of your wondrous skill.
No, master. I defy any man in England to make better.
He has heard, I say.
No, master. He has heard, I suppose, that mine are 2 shillings better than 100 than any he can buy.
That you have great skill.
In faggot making. Why, truly not to praise myself too much, I'll bind a faggot with any man in the Queen's dominions, be he what he will.
In physic, sir.
What pox does he mean?
Aside.
Gad, I'll not understand him.
And desires, you'd let him have...
Them as cheap as I can. That I will promise you.
Give him your best?
Well, I will too, master. But then he must give the best price. Here's a faggot now, do you see? 100 of them faggots are 12 shillings, and I'll fell 'em 100 of these for 10. Now, perhaps you may like these as well as them, but there's a great deal of difference.
Zounds! Would you hear what we have to say to you?
Aye, master. Give me leave to deal honestly with you. I don't fail for once, but hope to keep your custom, do you see, master? There's a great difference between dry wood and fallow wood.
My master desires you to come along with us.
I can't tell how to spare so much time, master, except you are certain he will give me my price. For I won't abate a farthing of what I told you. Take them or leave them.
Sits down again and sings.
This is the devil of a doctor. Sir, I say, we don't come about...
I've set you the last price, masters. I'll promise you.
I say
what you please, master, but I can't abate a penny.
We don't come about faggots. My master's daughter is stricken dumb, and he is informed you have very great skill in physical operations. Therefore, he has sent for you, and if you can restore her to her speech, he'll give you £500.
Martin, aside.
I smell a rat. They want to have me in their clutches to reward me for my oranges. But I shall fail them.
What say you, sir?
Yes, master. I don't know what to say. You are pleased to be merry, I find. I a doctor? Ha!
Nay, we are in earnest. I'll assure you, therefore pray don't put us to the trouble of using you roughly. For upon my word, though I know how to make you comply, I would much rather you should confess it by fair means.
Confess what, sir?
That you are a doctor, sir. We have heard what wondrous cures you have done, though your modesty won't let you own it. But pray, sir, don't stand to dispute, but come along with us.
Cures? You have certainly mistaken the man. Why, do I look as if I was a doctor?
'Tis no matter what you look like, sir. We know you are one. Therefore pray come along, or we shall make you.
Aye, you may make me go along with you if you will, but you will never make a doctor of me, I can tell you.
Nor you won't own it?
Slaps him over the back.
Own what, gentlemen? What do you mean?
To make you confess.
Strikes him.
What must I confess?
Your skill.
Skill, gentlemen? I confess all the skill I have is in faggot-making, in good faith, masters.
We shall make you alter your note, Mr. Faggot-maker, ere we have done with you.
Both beat him.
Oh, gentlemen,
Oh, we have found the way to make you speak truth.
but a faggot-maker.
Looking pitifully.
Again at your shifts. We were told indeed that you must be soundly beaten, ere you would own it.
They beat him soundly.
Oh, hold. I'm the doctor, gentlemen. I beg your pardons.
Sir, your humble servant. Now we honour you. Be pleased to be covered, sir.
By no means, sir.
Oh, by all means, sir. Pray put on your hat.
Sir, your humble servant, sir. Pray, what distemper has your young lady, sir?
She's dumb, sir.
Dumb? Good lack.
Aside.
I wish my wife was so.
She was struck dumb, just as she was going to be married to Sir Toby Doubtful, and they were forced to put off the marriage because she could not say after the parson.
Say you so? A very hard case, truly.
Aside.
This may be a very lucky hit for my Master Bellmie, for I suspect she's not dumb in earnest.
Well, sir, do you think you can do her any good?
Why, masters, I'll use my endeavours, since you have got the secret out, I'll assure you. For I don't question but to bring her to speech again.
Say you so, sir? Pray, come along quickly, then.
Exeunt. Scene. Selfwill's house. Lucinda on a couch, with Belliza by her.
And how long do you design to be dumb, cousin?
Till I can speak to the purpose.
That is, till you can get Bellmie, or discard the old man. Well, this love's a desperate business.
As desperate as 'tis, cousin. I find you are not frightened at the apprehension of it.
What do you mean?
Nay, what do you mean by hiding your desires from me?
Desires? What desires, prithee?
What, you think I don't see you are in love with Bellamy's friend? Don't you remember how warmly you asserted his innocence this morning when he traduced Bellmie? And but now you confessed he lied in every syllable.
And will you infer from that I love him?
Come, cousin. We never stickle up for the person we don't care for.
Well, then, Lucinda, to be ingenuous, I do like Octavio, above all men living. I can't tell why, but methinks there is something in his humour so very agreeable that did he like me as well, I could be content to say those 3 dismal words: love, honour, and obey.
Well, cousin, I'm glad to find you'll bear me company. If fortune should smile once again, I'll warrant you, Octavio won't forsake his friend, and so fair a fortune. But here comes my father, now to the couch.
Runs and lies down. Enter Selfwill and Martin.
How dost thou, child? Speak to me, if thou canst.
She shakes her head.
Indeed, uncle, I have tried all the ways I could think on to make her speak to me, but to no purpose.
Aside.
If I'm not mistaken, that is the same fellow that brought the oranges today. I suspect she'll quickly speak, were but my uncle removed.
Good lack. Well, Mr. Doctor, you see what a condition she's in. If you can restore her to her speech, I'll give you what you'll ask.
I don't doubt it, sir. Pray, madam, open your mouth.
She opens.
Very well. Let me feel your pulse. In a very low condition, truly. Sir, I must desire everybody to avoid the room, for I never work any of these cures before any but my patients. And you must bring me pen, ink, and paper, and be sure you shut the doors fast, and for your life, don't let anybody approach within 20 feet of the door.
Belliza aside.
So, now I see my suspicion is true. Sure, Doctor, you designed to conjure for her speech.
Not at all, madam, but I have a particular method. It is not safe for anybody to be near.
I am gone. Pray heaven your design prospers.
Exit.
But, Doctor, may I not stay in the room? I'll not look towards you.
By no means, sir. I tell you, if any person is in the room, the charm will be of no effect.
Say you so, sir? Well then, I'm gone.
Aside.
But I'm resolved to watch which way this fellow does this miracle. It must be by the devil, certainly. I have a window in my chamber looks into this. Once I may see all that's done. Well, Doctor, I pray for you that your undertaking may prosper. I'll send you pen, ink, and paper immediately.
Exit.
Pray do, sir.
Aside.
Now, if she should really be dumb, egad, I'll try. What would my master Bellmie give to be in my place, madam?
Ha! Bellmie, are not you he that was here with oranges?
I am, madam.
Aside.
Aha! It is as I supposed.
Enter one with pen, ink, etc.
And go, go, go! Be gone quickly!
Exit servant.
Oh, madam, if you had taken that letter...
I wish I had, but hark ye, did you never live with Bellmie?
Yes, madam, when he first courted you. My name is Martin, but poverty and labour, madam, has almost effaced me in the memory of everybody. But, madam, we must be quick. Pray, take this paper and write to my master, who was almost driven to despair to hear of this sad accident.
Give it me quickly, but pray, which way got you credit with my father to pass upon him for a doctor?
Selfwill appears at window.
Certainly they talk. I can't hear what they say, though.
By inspiration, I think. Thou art going to be taken for a doctor, I don't know. All I know is that I was forced hither out of the field by two of your father's men. Perhaps they mistook me for another, but they were very importunate, as my poor back and shoulders can testify, for I'm almost beaten to a jelly.
Shrugs his shoulders.
Alas, poor fellow, there's a guinea for thee. Certainly this must be a lucky omen. Well, I'll give you a letter immediately.
Writes. Selfwill is at window.
They certainly talk, but if I'm not mistaken, she's a writing too. Pray heaven this bain't some fiend and my child making a contract with the devil. I'll step down and try whether the devil or I are most cunning.
There, I have done.
Enter Selfwill behind her, and snatches the paper from her.
Have you so?
Oh, Lord!
Huh. Now then, a clear stage for the doctor.
Exit.
What's this?
Reads.
My dear Bellmie, it is impossible for me to express the joy I feel at finding you constant when I least thought you so. Let me beg you to suspend your fears, for I am not dumb, only counterfeit it as the last remedy to prevent my barbarous father's designs, who was resolutely bent to marry me that moment. And be assured I'll never give my hand to any but thyself. Therefore be certain of the heart of your Lucinda. Oh, brave, barbarous father? You impudent, audacious, treacherous slut. Hussy, I'll marry you to my scullion, I will, hussy, if I please. Counterfeited with a pox, I'll counterfeit you. I'll yerk the sullen devil out of you, I will so.
Enter Belliza.
Bless me, uncle, what's the matter?
I'll tell you what's the matter by and by if you vex me. Where's this rogue, this cousining dog? This is the same fellow, I believe, that brought the devil in an orange. But I'll send him to the devil, I warrant him.
Exit.
Well, cousin, I overheard all. What will you do now? He'll certainly force you immediately.
I have but one card left to play. If that fails, I'm lost.
Enter Selfwill again.
He has made his escape, a dog, but if ever I catch him... Well, mistress, I hope your tongue is in readiness. Here's Sir Toby. One denial, do you hear, and you had better be hanged.
On my knees, sir, I beg your pardon, and since I see nothing will persuade you to the contrary, I submit freely to your pleasure.
So that's well said.
Enter Sir Toby.
Joy, Sir Toby, my daughter speaks again.
Ah, then I am a happy man. Madam, your most humble servant.
Salutes her.
Well, I'll to the parson, Sir Toby. Cousin, in the meantime do you dress the bride. Dad, I'll have a dance ere I sleep yet.
Exit.
Well, my dear, we shall be very happy. You shall never refuse me anything, and I'll do just what I please with you. We might toy, and play, and kiss, and, from the head to the foot, for I am master of all. Methinks I see your pretty eyes, half closed, languishing thus, and your ruby lips like a rosebud just opening, and distilling a moist dew upon mine. Your pretty ears sucked to a vermilion color, your alabaster neck, and those two pretty bubbies. And you, in fine, all your person is at my discretion, and I at my own to caress you as I please. My girl, does not this please you, huh?
Belliza, aside.
Oh, my conscience, the old man's in a rapture.
Oh, extremely, Sir Toby, for my father's rigid severity has made me almost weary of my life. I am stark mad for my liberty. For my part, I never loved Bellmie, only with a design to get away from my father, and his gay humor promised me I should follow my own. But I'd as live have you as him, or anybody else, so I get but out of my father's jurisdiction.
How was that all?
Positively, which I hope to heaven will quickly be. Now, I'll prepare for some diversion and retrieve the time I've lost. You must promise me one thing, Sir Toby.
What's that, madam?
To let me have a house, or very good lodgings about St. James.
About St. James?
Oh, by all means, Sir Toby. All people of breeding and fashion live at that end of the town.
Especially the company that I shall most covet.
But St. James is quite out of my way of business, for that lies at the exchange, you know.
Better still, Sir Toby, for you may keep lodgings in the city and visit your wife every Saturday night and stay till Monday, true citizen-like, you know.
Why, what? Do you think I design to lie with my wife but once a week, then?
Once a week? I would not for the world bed with you oftener. Why, 'tis not the fashion, Sir Toby, and I assure you, when I marry, I hope to be my own mistress and follow my own inclination, which will carry me to the utmost pinnacle of the fashion.
Sir Toby, aside.
That is as much as to say, the fashion is for ladies to cuckold their husbands, and for the better effecting of it, they'll find pretence for lying alone.
You look like a very gallant gentleman, Sir Toby.
Sir Toby, aside.
I believe if she takes your counsel, I shall soon look like a beast.
Aye, that knows how a woman should live. I'm certain you are not one of those ill-natured husbands who expect to keep their wives like melons under glass. I believe we shall agree the best in the world.
Sir Toby, aside.
Asunder I believe it must be, then.
Belliza, aside.
She'll distract the old fellow presently. And then, Sir Toby, you must alter your livery, and give a laced one, for grey turned up with blue looks so like a country squire.
One more thing I had like to have forgot. I must have a French chariot positively, for I would not give a farthing for a chariot if it be not a French one.
French? Egad! I would not have a nail about my coach that's French, for the wealth of the East India Company. French chariot, say ye? Zounds, madam, do ye take me for a Jacobite? Ah!
Belliza, aside.
Oh, Lord, he'll beat us by and by. No, no, Sir Toby. Gentlemen may follow the French fashions. Nay, sup with the Frenchmen, yet be no Jacobite.
I say 'tis a lie, and I'll keep no French chariot.
You'll at least keep 6 horses, Sir Toby, for I would not make a tour in Hyde Park with less for the world. For methinks a pair looks like a hackney.
Sir Toby, aside.
Zounds, this woman will undo me.
For my part, I hate solitude, churches, and prayers.
So do I, directly. For except St. James' Church, one scarce sees a well-dressed man, or ever receives a bow from anything above one's mercer.
Why, what a world of religion our ladies have! Why do you go to church to pay and receive bows, pray?
Not absolutely on purpose, Sir Toby, but she that has no reverence from a crowd is looked upon as an obscure person, than which there cannot be a greater affront. For the pleasure of living nowadays is to be known and talked of.
Sir Toby, aside.
And I'm mistaken if you'll not give cause enough for talk.
For my part, I love the park, plays. Oh, heavens! What ails you, sir? Your countenance is changed.
'Tis only vapours. My head is giddy a little.
Oh, 'tis a disease that afflicts abundance of people. But our marriage, I hope, will dissipate that. I'll fetch you some cold water, Sir Toby.
Oh, no, it will off again.
Aside.
Mercy upon me! What a judgment have I escaped!
Well, Sir Toby, I'll in and dress. My father and the parson will be here presently.
Aside.
Come, cousin, if this has not put marriage out of his head, heaven help Lucinda.
'Tis the maddest method I e'er knew, put in practice.
The devil take him that stays for their coming.
Exit. Scene. The street. Enter Bellmie, Octavio, and Martin.
Was there ever a more promising prospect, so cursedly crossed?
Never, certainly. Yet you are happy in being beloved. Fortune will at last crown your wishes, Bellmie. She cannot always be severe. It is her property to change, you know. Therefore, cheer up.
Oh, that I had 1,000 men to fight for her sake. They should one after another fall, or I'd be freed from this cursed pain of wishing. I have no hopes now. There's no way left to get possession of her. I'll fire his house about his ears.
That may endanger her. Huh? Who comes here, Sir Toby? Do you sleep aside, for he does not know that I know you?
I wish he was as young as I am, that I might take an honourable revenge on him.
Enter Sir Toby.
Pox on it, I find I love this woman, though if I marry her, I'm certain to be a cuckold.
Sir Toby, your servant. Well met. I was just going to look for you. A jeweller of my acquaintance tells me you were inquiring for a diamond ring to present your lady with. He says he has one of the finest in England, and desires me to introduce him.
Mr. Octavio, I thank you, but I have no occasion for it at present.
How? Not at present? Why, you'll give it her before you marry her, won't you?
But I don't know whether I shall marry her or no. I wish I were in France now, for there's wise men and learned men that would resolve one question immediately.
Octavio, aside.
A good hint. Why, Sir Toby, if you have any question depending on philosophy or astrology, here's one of the most ingenious fellows in France, now in town. I came over in the same ship with him.
Say you so, sir? Pray, can you bring me to him?
My servant shall shew you, or he shall be at my lodging in a quarter of an hour. I would wait on you myself, Sir Toby, was I not to help a friend away with his mistress, a friendly office, you know.
Aye, sir, so it is. Well, sir, I'll be at your lodgings in that time. You'll give order to your man. I know I'm resolved whether this be only her humour, or if I shall be a cuckold or not.
Exit. Bellmie appears.
I overheard all, but what a pox does he want a wise man for?
I know not, but guess it is something about Lucinda. What think you of personating the wise man I promised to introduce him to? If it don't absolutely prevent, it may at least defer the marriage.
With all my heart.
Come, let's to my lodgings, where you shall equip yourself ready to receive him.
Exeunt. End of Act 4. Act 5 of Love's Contrivance by Susanna Centlivre. This is a Librivox recording. All Librivox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 5, Scene 1. Scene changes to Lucinda's apartments. Enter Lucinda and Belliza.
In my conscience, this is the maddest frolic I ever saw. Why, thou hast almost thrown the old man into convulsions. I dare swear thou hast frighted matrimony out of his head.
I hope so, or he'll fright me out of my wits.
Nay, if he ventures on you after this, you need never fear his being jealous.
I doubt I shall give him cause enough, if he has not the grace to take warning. But hush, here's my father.
Enter Selfwill.
Daughter, where's Sir Toby?
Gone out, sir, but he'll not be long, I suppose.
Odd so, gone out. I made a count he should have heard the music practice over, which I designed for your wedding. For I'll keep a public wedding, girl.
'Tis too late, uncle, to invite anybody today. Therefore you had as good defer the wedding till tomorrow, had you not, uncle?
No, Mary, had I not. Hang delays, I hate them. She may be married tonight, and we may keep the wedding tomorrow or next day. Therefore I say it shall be done tonight. I spoke to some of the singers in the playhouse to be ready if I send for them, and I gave them an invitation to my house, and one of them is within already. And, daughter, till Sir Toby comes, she shall divert you. D'ye hear? Desire that gentlewoman to come in.
Enter Mrs. Shaw.
Come, madam, pray oblige us with some of your newest entertainments.
She sings.
Very well, very well. There's 5 guineas for you. D'ye see, tomorrow I shall send for you again. Come, my girl, come along with me, and I'll make you a present of your mother's jewels. Thou shalt lose nothing, my girl, by being dutiful, d'ye see?
Belliza, aside.
Nor you get nothing by being obstinate, old gentleman, if our plot takes.
Exeunt. Scene changes to Octavio's lodgings. Enter Bellmie, like a philosopher on one side, seeming to talk to somebody within, and Sir Toby and servants on the other side.
That's he, sir.
Very well.
Exeunt servants.
Go on, you're insufferable. A man fit to be banished, all learned conversation.
Looking back.
Yes, I'll maintain it by all the arguments of philosophy, that thou art an ignoramus, and ought to be despised by all men of letters.
He's in a passion with somebody. Sir, sir.
Thou pretend to argue reason, and dost not understand the elements of reason.
His anger blinds him. He does not see me. Sir, sir.
It is a position to be condemned by all the learned world.
Somebody has vexed him.
Toto coalo, tota via abras.
Doctor, I kiss your hand.
Your servant.
May one...
Dost thou know what thou hast done?
Looking back.
Thou hast committed a syllogism in abordo.
I would...
The major is insipid, the minor is impertinent, and the conclusion ridiculous. I'll be hanged ere I agree to what thou sayest, and I'll hold my opinion to the last drop of my ink.
Doctor, I would...
Yes, I'll defend that position, pugnis et calcibus, unguibus et rostro.
Mr. Aristotle, pray, mayn't one know what puts you into such a passion?
A subject the most just in the world.
Pray, what is it?
An ignorant fellow would pretend to hold an argument the most unjust, unsufferable, insupportable.
May one not know what it is?
Ah, sir, everything is turned upside down, and the world is corrupted as if there was a license for vice, and the magistrates who were established to keep good order ought to blush for suffering such an intolerable scandal as this, which I speak of.
But pray, what is it?
Is it not a horrible thing, a thing that cries to heaven for vengeance, that it should be said publicly, the form of a hat?
How?
I hold the figure of a hat, not the form, so far that there's this difference between the form and the figure. The form is the exterior disposition of bodies animate, and the figure is the exterior disposition of bodies inanimate. So that the hat being inanimate, it must be said the figure, not the form. Yes, thou ignorant blockhead. This is the way you must talk, and this is the term that Aristotle expresses in the chapter of qualities.
Looking back.
Is this all? Why, I thought you had lost all you have in the world. Don't mind this. Think no more on it, Doctor.
I am so mad, I hardly know myself.
Oh, lay aside the form and figure of the hat. I have something else to communicate to you.
Impertinent blockhead!
Looking back.
Pray, sir, contain yourself.
Ignorant.
Oh, gad.
To pretend to hold an argument of this kind?
He is in the wrong indeed.
Expressly an opinion condemned by Aristotle.
Yes, you are in the right, and he's a fool, an impudent fellow to pretend to argue with a doctor of your knowledge. But there's an end of the matter. I desire you to hear me. I am come to consult you about an affair that troubles me a little. I have a design to take me a wife to keep me company. The person, do you see, is handsome, well-shaped, and I like her very well, and she is overjoyed to marry me, and her father has given me his consent. But I'm afraid of you know what, the common misfortune that attends married men. so that I would desire you, as a wise man, and gifted with knowledge of the stars, to tell me your opinion, and give me your advice upon it.
Rather than it shall be allowed to be the form of a hat, I'd sooner allow datur vacuum in rerum natura, or that I am an ass.
Sir Toby, aside.
Plague on this man. Pray, doctor, hear people a little when they speak to you. I have been a-talking to you this hour, and you don't answer me one word to the purpose.
I beg your pardon. I have such reason to be angry that I'm not myself yet.
Phoo! Let all that alone, and pray hear me.
Well, I will. Pray, what would you say to me?
I would speak to you about some serious business.
What tongue would you use with me?
What tongue?
Aye.
Why, the tongue I have in my head. I shan't borrow my neighbour's.
Aye, but what idiom, what language, I mean?
Oh, that's another thing.
Will you talk to me in Italian?
No.
Spanish?
No.
High Dutch?
No.
French?
No.
Latin?
No.
Greek?
No.
Hebrew?
No.
In Syriac?
No.
Turkish?
No.
Arabic?
No. English.
Oh, in English. Very well. Then come on t'other side, for this here is kept only for strangers, and the other for our mother tongue.
Sir Toby, aside.
There's a great deal of ceremony with these people.
Well, what would you ask now?
I told you before, sir, but I perceive you did not mind me, why I would consult you upon a little difficulty.
A difficulty in philosophy, no doubt.
Excuse me,
Perhaps you would know if the substance and accident are terms synonymous or equivocal in regard of their being.
Not at all. I would...
If logic be an art or science.
No, nor that.
Whether it has 3 operations of the mind, or the third only.
No,
If there is 10 categories, or if there be but 1.
Neither.
If the conclusion be of the essence, or of the syllogism.
No.
If the good be reciprocal with the end.
Zounds, no.
Stamps.
If the end can move us by real being, or an intentional being.
No. By the devil and all his imps, no.
Why then, explain your mind, for I can't guess it.
So I will explain myself, but you won't hear me. I tell you, I have a mind to marry. I have her father's consent, and hers too. But I'm afraid...
Words be given to man to explain his mind. The mind is the picture of things, as our words are the pictures of our meaning. But these pictures differ from all other pictures, inasmuch as other pictures are distinguished by their originals, and the word keeps in itself the original being. That it is nothing else but the mind, explained by some exterior sign or motion, whence it comes that those who think well talk the better. Explain then your mind by your words, which is the most intelligible of all the signs.
A pox take you and all your signs and figures. Get in and be damned. Get in.
Pushes him in. Enter Octavio. Octavio, aside.
Ah, Mr. Octavio, are you come? Pox take your learned man here. He won't hear one word a man has to say to him. I never was so plagued in all my life. Puh!
Walks about in a heat.
I just heard his character, Sir Toby, and came to your relief. Faith, I had but small acquaintance with him, as I told you before, only coming over in the same ship with him. But I have heard of another, a very sober, discreet person, they say. If you please, you may consult him. He lodges at the sign of the Globe in the next street. I have a little business at present, or I'd wait on you, Sir Toby. I hope you will excuse me.
Exit.
Sir, your servant. A pox on this fellow. I shan't be myself again this hour, yet I'm resolved to hear what t'other says. For if there is any possibility of escaping cuckoldom, I would marry this girl.
Exit. Re-enter Octavio and Bellmie.
Excellently well performed, Bellmie. Why, you cant learnedly, and would make an admirable fortune-teller, huh? Thou'rt an handsome fellow, and would have all the ladies' customs.
Pox take this old dog! He's put me quite out of breath. I had much ado to forbear laughing.
Nor I. But come, let's consider who shall personate the other learned man. What think you of doing it yourself?
With all my heart.
You must alter your dress, then, and represent a man whose temper and principles are just opposite to all you did just now. Seem to doubt everything and be positive in nothing. Do you hear?
I warrant you. Let me alone for cross purposes.
Come, you must about it immediately. In the meantime, I'll go and tell Mr. Selfwill Sir Toby would speak with him at the Globe. I'll be sure to get him abroad. Then do as we agreed on.
Exeunt. The scene, Selfwill's house. Enter Selfwill, Lucinda, and Belliza.
I can't imagine where Sir Toby is gone. I wonder he should go out of his way when he knew I was gone for the parson.
It is not very civil, truly.
Lucinda, aside.
I hope he'll never come again.
Enter Octavio.
Ladies, your humble servant. Mr. Selfwill, Sir Toby humbly begs your pardon. He met with some friends that detained him against his will at the Globe, where he desires you'd meet him. And he also begs the favour of this lady to give me leave to wait on her to the church, where he'll meet her instantly. For what reason, I know not. But he says he's resolved not to be married out of a church, which I believe was the cause of his going away.
Nay, if that be all, with all my heart.
Octavio, aside.
'Tis to Bellmie, madam, I conduct you.
D'ye hear, daughter? Let Mr. Octavio wait on you as Sir Toby desires. Niece, you'll bear her company and see her given away.
Belliza, aside.
But not to the man you expect, uncle.
Mr. Octavio, your servant.
Exit.
Sir, yours. Now, madam, if fortune favours us, Bellmie will be happy.
Turning to Belliza.
Madam, have you no charity? How long must I serve ere you reward my service?
Serve me, sir? This is the first moment I knew I had such a servant. I shall observe with what diligence you officiate for the future.
For the future? Odds life, madam. What do you mean? If you knew my constitution half so well as I do, you'd reward me presently. For I have served already, in my opinion, a patriarch's apprenticeship.
Nay, if your account runs so swiftly, I'm afraid you'll forget you ever served at all.
No, madam. Bind me fast in marriage bonds, and I shall become as errant a husband as you'd wish.
The gentleman promises fair, cousin. Pray, try him.
First, let me see you disposed of. What that may put into your head, I know not, but I'll promise nothing.
But perform, I hope, as much as those that do. I'll still hope for the best. Come, ladies, my friend will be impatient.
Exeunt. Scene, the Globe. Enter Bellmie on one side, and Sir Toby on the other.
Doctor, your servant.
Sir, your very humble servant. Pray, what is your business?
Sir Toby, aside.
Aye, this man is something like. He'll give one leave to speak. I am come, doctor.
Hold, sir. Change, if you please, your way of talking. Our philosophy teaches never to be positive in anything. Always suspend your judgment. By that rule you must not say you are come, but you believe you are come.
Believe I am come?
Yes.
I must believe it because it is so.
That is not the consequence. You may believe it to be so, though the thing is not true.
How? What? Is it not true that I am come?
That's uncertain, and we are to doubt of everything.
What? Am I here, and don't you talk to me?
I believe you are there, and I think I talk to you, but I'm not certain of it.
What the devil? Do ye banter me? I am here, and I see you there plain enough, yet there's no belief in it. Pray, let all these whims alone, and let us talk of our business. I come to tell you I have a mind to marry.
I don't know that.
Why, but I tell you.
That may be.
And the lady I design for my wife is young and handsome.
That's not impossible.
Shall I do well or ill to marry her?
One or the other?
Sir Toby, aside.
Here's another rogue now. I ask you if I shall do well to marry that woman.
According as it proves.
Shall I do ill?
Peradventure.
Pray, sir, answer me as you should do.
'Tis my design.
I have a great inclination for the maid.
Not unlikely.
I have her father's consent.
It may be so.
But in marrying her, I'm afraid of being a cuckold.
It may be done.
May it so, sir?
There's no impossibility.
Sir Toby, aside.
Did ever anybody hear such a cautious dog? But what would you do if you were in my place?
I don't know.
What would you counsel me to do?
What you please.
You'll make me mad.
Looking angrily.
I wash my hands of it.
Sir Toby, aside.
The devil take him.
Look'ee, sir, what will happen, will happen.
Pox on this dog. I'll make you change your note, I'll warrant you.
Beats him.
There's for your nonsense now. I'm satisfied.
What insolence is this, to strike a philosopher, a man of learning as I am?
Pray, good doctor, change your way of talking. You must not be positive in anything. You must not say I beat you. The most you can say is that you believe I beat you.
I'll instantly make my complaint to justice. I'll have satisfaction for the blows I received.
I wash my hands on it.
I have the marks on my shoulders.
That may be.
'Tis you have given me,
That's not impossible.
I shall have a warrant for you.
I know nothing of the matter.
And you shall make me satisfaction or go to prison.
What will happen, will happen.
Aye, let me alone with you.
Exit.
The devil go with you and all such confounded dogs. One can't get one word positive from 'em. A little canting nonsense. What a pox do they pretend to learning for? I knew as much before I came as I do now. What shall I do in this uncertitude? If I marry, I shall certainly be a cuckold, and my children bastards. There must be something in these fellow shufflings, for Burnham, they are wise men when one has said all, and therefore they certainly know I shall be a cuckold if I marry, but are afraid to tell me so. Therefore, I will not marry, I am resolved, and so I'll go and tell Mr. Selfwill. Ah, what is he come to ask advice to?
Enter Selfwill.
Mr. Selfwill, your humble servant. What do you do here?
Why, did you not send for me, Sir Toby?
Not I, sir.
What? Did you not send Octavio for me, and ordered him to wait on my daughter to church, where you'd meet her?
Upon my faith, not I. I was just coming to tell you I have already altered my design of marriage. My years do not suit with matrimony, and therefore I desire you to dispose of your daughter to whom you please. I beg your pardon, but won't marry, I'm resolved.
How? How's this, Sir Toby? Do you make a fool of my daughter?
Not I, Mr. Selfwill.
Aside.
Nor do I design your daughter shall make a cuckold of me.
What do you mean by saying you won't marry?
Just as I say, I mean. I will not marry, I tell you.
Did you not send for me, say you?
No, sir.
Nor for my daughter?
Neither.
Oh, Lord, I'm ruined, undone.
Stamps.
Who is this Octavio? Sir Toby, you are a knave, I doubt in my conscience. I believe you have pretended love to my daughter all this while, only to put a trick upon me.
Have a care what you say, Mr. Selfwill. Egad, I won't take an affront.
Holds up his cane. Enter Bellmie, Octavio, Lucinda, and Belliza.
Hold, gentlemen. I hope you are not in earnest. Sir Toby, I have brought your bride. Ha ha ha.
She shall be your bride, if you will, sir.
Here's a gentleman has a better title to her.
Bellmie and Lucinda, to Selfwill kneeling.
Your blessing, sir.
What the devil? You are not married, are you?
'Tis even so, Mr. Selfwill.
Why then take her, but not a groat of mine along with her. I'll promise you that. There's 500 a year her grandmother left her, which I can't hinder her of. I wish I could. You should starve together.
Sir Toby, aside.
Tol-de-rol, tol-dol-dol. I'm glad I'm shut of her. For if she could steal a husband, she'd have stole the devil and all of gallants. But I thought, Mr. Octavio, you was my friend.
So I am, Sir Toby. Did I not tell you from the first marriage would not agree with your years? Huh?
'Tis very true, sir, and I thank you for your care.
Mr. Selfwill, uncle, I mean, give me your hand and let's be friends.
Uncle? Why, what? My daughter did not set your chops of water in two, did she, niece? Huh? I wish you much joy, if there can come any such thing from the sex, for I'm in doubt if there can or no. She has a good fortune. As long as that lasts, you may live well enough. And when 'tis spent, there's hedges and barns in the country. Hang, drown, or starve, I care not.
Exit.
Ha ha ha! Come, my dear, in me you shall have both father, friend, and husband find. I ne'er can want of aught while you are kind.
Enter Martin and his wife.
Sir, I have brought the music.
That's well. We'll have a dance, however. But first, let me beg one favour of you, Sir Toby.
What's that, sir?
Only to forgive this fellow and make one in our diversion.
Forgive him? Why, I don't know him.
Not my person, perhaps, Sir Toby, but my parts you do. I am he that sold you oranges, master. Likewise, the doctor that restored this young lady to her speech. And this gentleman,
pointing to Bellmie,
by my advice, personated the two famous astrologers of whom you inquired your fortune, whether or no you should be a cuckold, master. Do you know us now, sir?
Ha 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 ha!
Sir Toby, aside.
A thorough-paced rogue. Why, what an ass have I been made on. Hark ye, sirrah. Don't you expect to be hanged, ye dog?
I am married, sir.
You are married? Why, then, may the curse of cuckoldom light on thee, or what's worse, the fear of it. Goodbye to you all.
Exit.
Well, Martin, your wife and you shall live with me for the future, but you shall beat her no more.
Nay, I am pretty even with him, sir, for I put him off for a doctor, and got him well drubbed into the bargain.
A very cunning stratagem. But come, let the diversion begin. Sue to Celia for the favor, why should poor deluded man, as if he were sole receiver, return no bliss again? Were not love condemned to blindness, quickly he would find, though to him she feigned a kindness, she's to herself most kind. Let us banish then the fashion, and be resolutely brave, since it is their inclination. Let them ask before they have. Come, my Belliza, you shall find, though I have hitherto talked wildly, that I love in earnest. My studies shall be still for your content. Give me but love, you never shall repent.
End of Act 5. Epilogue. What if to end this fortune-telling play, I tell you all your fortunes here today, and faith, to judge by here and there a face, Fortune has favourites scattered in this place, the beaux whose garb of late such lustre darts, to draw fair ladies' eyes, and break poor tradesmen's hearts. Their fortune is what still attends the great, still borrowing, still dunned, and still in debt. Pitmasts this season are grown mighty bare, they scarce got patents to ply round Mayfair. But when the term and winter comes again, bards, brims, and lawyers flourish bravely then, vintners and tailors, through such knavish lives, with honest cits and virtuous city wives, I fear, though wishing it might be uncivil, like pawnbrokers, they'll all go to the devil, the city's prentices, those upstart beaux, and short spruce puffs, and vigor-colour clothes, who with a brace of thralls stole here today, and mustered up a crown to see this play. Lewdness and gaming will run them aground, and master's cash fall short £100. Our upper friends, whose height respect denotes, since liveries, too, are not unlike laced coats, by coming with such critics, grow at last. Nothing but standard wit will please their taste, till learning hear how well the town's harangued, they'll make ingenious speeches when they're hanged. Our fiddlers will be scraping as before, spend every groat they get upon a whore, lead merry lives, damned shabby and damned poor. But where at last they'll go, 'tis hard to tell, for really they're too impudent for hell. The ladies by their melting looks I see, will die for love, perhaps for love of me. My pity flows apace to save their life. I could be kind, but must not wrong my wife. But lastly for the fortune of this play, humour's a hazard, yet this much I'll say, the author purely for your mirth designed it, and whether good or bad, 'tis as you find it. End of Love's Contrivance by Susanna Centlivre.